picking up where we left off too long ago. Sorry about that, but it's been a busy summer, so haven't had time. I have printed the stowed version of the Cyclone and started painting it. I am not happy with the blue greenish base coat, so I'm going to have to redo it. So I kind of abandoned it, but I figured, what the heck, I could share it with you. That's why the rims aren't painted here and there's no details on the front. But it still gives you a good idea of what this looks like physically, and I'm really going to be happy to have this to display along with my Alpha. And at this point, we are in full-on detail and painting mode. As reference, I've got here the Scorched Earth Toys Annie Moon photography, which is just excellent, great channel. And you can see here on the shoulder, I've got a little silver and some gray, some blue, just to pick out the different parts as sort of a, baseline. You can see I've used the same blue here on the cockpit with a nice gloss black, which I think works really well as the canopy. It really gives a nice glass appearance, so dig that. Looking here, you can see, you can't tell what's painted and what's not, but this is doing some of the details with this nice brilliant blue, which is what I'm using for the blue sections. And then for the sort of gunmetal, I didn't really want a bright silver. And I have to say, this Max Flex, this is some of the best paint I've ever used. I highly recommend it. It dries quick, it dries even. Can't recommend it enough. And you can see how good it looks here in terms of giving a true metal feel, but not, shiny and over the top, in my opinion. Same thing on the intake covers and on the chest vents. I just went ahead and painted it that. They're supposed to be sort of a bluish kind of color, but I like this better and it's mine, so what are you going to do? Plus, that way, when you close the intake cover, it really gives a nice unified feel to the underlying mechanics of it. Which, speaking of which, underlying mechanics, the weight of this model, since I'm printing this, 30% larger than it's supposed to be, and in resin, I need this to be a lot more, to take a lot more shearing force. So I have drilled it out and put in a metal rod to the hip joint just to provide enough strength so that the thing will be able to stand under its own weight. And I also did a similar metal infusion to the shoulder piece for strength. So now that I've got everything painted up for the most part, I can start going through these bins with various sections. You can see here, the cockpit, the arms. Here is the torso, which has some of the largest pieces. It's very deep and, also very heavy. There's tremendous weight to this thing. The legs also very heavy, but they're legs, so that's fine. And here we go. I started dry fitting the thing together and got a couple shots here just to give you a feel for how this thing is going to look. Keep in mind, this is still just dry fitting, but I've got everything painted, and this gives you sort of your first glimpse of what the finished product is going to actually look and feel like. And I have to say, I am enthused. There have been times where I wasn't sure this was going to work, but seeing it in jet mode, dry fit, painted up, still a long way to go, but wow, I'm happy with it so far. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this update, and take care until next time.